Hello, Michelle. It's so great to see you. This is the Audacious Creative Lives conversation series where I talk to people doing bold, creative things and living these amazing lives that have inspired me on my journey over the last 3.5 years. And Michelle is someone that I met pretty early on, actually. It was January 2023, and I'd only been out in the world after leaving my old life in New Orleans as a professor. I've been out in the world for like what, 4 months, three
Yeah,
months, not very long.
couple months.
And I met you, like Kumari, and now we're working together on the Women's Almanac. Um, so why don't we start a little bit with our current relationship and this Women's Almanac thing that we've been doing and how it's starting its second year. And then we can talk more about Kumari because it's an outgrowth of Kumari. What do you think?
Yes, let's do it. Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, this year's been really wonderful because we've also been working together in Sicily this year too with a women's retreat, which women from the Almanac attended, which was just beautiful to have that in-person connection. And the Women's Almanac is just about finished the first cohort, which has been a year, and we're about to begin the next. And this is really a vision that was inspired by you and the other women who have come to Kumari and have become part of the community and have inspired me. And I saw the way to, like the web of life, web us together in something connected to the natural seasons of the year, natural seasons, women from very diverse perspectives that have kind of gone through it all in terms of life between the seven of us, and weaving that together for other women to have this diversity in learning that's really hard to get from two teachers or a coach, but rather having this diversity that really gets more expansion. So I live in Sicily. I've lived here 7 years. I'm American by birth, but this is the longest I've lived anywhere in my life by far. And I'm in an agricultural area, and my neighbors are elderly Sicilian, beautiful people that are very tied to the land and work in agriculture. And every New Year, my one neighbor who's around 90 asked us to always buy him the new almanac. And the almanac here in Italy is just this gorgeous book with beautiful images and advice on even what to eat, what to wear, and the flowers, the moon, when you might want more sleep. Just this really beautiful guide, more than I had thought it was. And I was just like, wow, this is gorgeous. And I was just thinking, what if there was some almanac for us? Like, what if we could transform this beautiful idea of a guide to the year, but in a feminine way? And again, with that diversity of the seasons, with different women's input based on their knowledge. Because of course, each of us can't study our whole lives these different topics and be experts. It's better to divide and conquer in a way. And so then also the Druid calendar is really close to my heart, being that I'm from Celtic descent, and reconnecting with these old indigenous ancient ways of matriarchal culture that I do in my research really made me think, okay, what if we just wove it all together? What I'm doing with women, this beautiful land here and the agricultural land I'm learning from here, as well as the Druid calendar, which marks by 4 lunar and 4 solar events in the year, to touch base again and again with women on processing different ideas of expansion in ourselves and going inward in ourselves, and then also how we're doing through the year and the seasons and how they're affecting us. So we're now finishing this first year with 8 markers in the year and 16 sessions, because we have the marker and then we have a follow-up session where women can really process what they learned in that marker event, and be able to discuss it together. So, Anne, you just hosted the last marker for winter solstice, and I'll be hosting the next one for Ostara, which is this weekend, which is really exciting.
Yeah. And then we start over again in March, right?
Yes.
So we still have what, about 5 spaces to fill?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Before March. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's, in some ways it seems like a big commitment because it's a full year, right? But it's 8 times a year, basically. And what we're sort of discovering is that, or what I'm discovered through it, is that um, it's so hard to absorb a lot of information at once. But to meet these various women and hear, the work that they do in the world, the healing work that they've done, these are all women who found something that really speaks to their soul and it is the medicine they want to bring to the world. And so each of them does that in a different way. And to go to each of them individually would probably be overwhelming. And to absorb all this information in a short period of time. So the way it's spaced out over the year is really lovely. We as practitioners have been participating in the meetings as well, and learning from each other, which has been amazing. And I've learned so much. I mean, I learned from Emily the emotional freedom technique, which is the tapping thing. And that was so powerful when I was having vertigo. Because she was our first marker and I was still having vertigo when we started. And that was actually thinking, okay, Michelle wants me to join this practitioner community. And I'm like, I'm still, in the throes of illness and not really sure what I'm doing yet, not feeling oriented. But by the time my marker came up in December at the winter solstice, I was ready, which was perfect timing. But I learned from Emily some really great coping strategies. And one of them was this emotional freedom technique, which actually pulled me out of vertigo episodes, which
Mhm.
was huge. That was huge for me because it immediately calms your nervous system. So whatever sort of anxiety is happening in that moment, you're able to neutralize it and send a message of safety to your body just by tapping these little points. And it's beautiful. And then from May, she works with business alignments, helping you find a sort of business model that is really aligned with who you really are and that feels really good, but it's aligned with your nervous system that doesn't make you feel anxious. And so I've worked with her as well, and that's been so helpful in terms of helping me figure out what the medicine is that I wanted to bring to the world and how to share that. And that's just two examples. I mean, there's an astrologer as well, Louise. She's got me thinking about astrology in a way I've never thought of before. Do you want to talk about any of the other practitioners?
Yeah, I mean, the wonderful thing is it naturally happened that everyone is extremely different in
Mhm.
their life story, age, marital status, if you're a mother, you're not a mother, or it's just
Right.
bed married, never married, single, all of it. But that's one element that the practitioners bring as well. And then there's their topics. I think for me, watching and being part of Samantha's um,
Mhm.
marker, and Samantha is a sex and trauma therapist, and really how moved the women were to rethink their relationship with their breasts and reclaiming their body for themselves and really enjoying themselves for their own beauty and pleasure and appreciation, and taking that agency back was one of the most moving markers that I was able to participate in, that really just made me just see the potential to unlock in women. And then we do know that this has unlocked things in women because we all moved together throughout the year. So also, like, you didn't feel well in the beginning, we also saw you now feel great. And it's been beautiful witnessing that we do as the practitioners, and also the other women do. The group, we keep it small, under 16, but ideally 12 women. Um, through the year to work together so they can witness each other. And also May's work. I know one of the women openly admitted that she's never done self-development work in her life, and she just took a new job. So also May's work in showing her she could be aligned even as an employee in a better way that suits her life. And
Mhm.
she is someone who even said at our last marker, um, I'm now realizing this isn't the life I have to have. I actually thought it was. I'm realizing
Oh, that's
I
the
can change. And now she's hopefully going to be here this Sunday and announce that she took a new job that's like a complete out of bounds risk to realign. And that's what gets me excited, because we all
Mhm.
have this potential to constantly evolve, but we need the support, of course, to do it. It's hard work to do it all on our own.
Oh my gosh. When my life was I don't know if it was imploding or I was imploding. I was sick. I was, I had an autoimmune disorder. My marriage was falling apart and I was so unhappy. I was miserable. I was crying all the time. I mean, it's just not working. Like couldn't bear the thought of going back to my job, things like that. And I felt so alone in that. I had nobody, which is why I came to Kumari in the first place and why I think a lot of women come to Kumari. Do you want to talk about Kumari and
Yeah.
yeah,
The interesting part of Kumari is it was a very lonely time in my life. It was COVID had begun and I had a child as like a surprise that I didn't know when I moved here that I was pregnant. The day I moved here, I found out, in my late 30s. But then because COVID happened right after I had him a few months in and lockdown was so severe here, but I had already purchased the house of Kumari. It really started planting seeds because I was so alone. And I really dipped in 6 months later into deep depression. And actually, Maggie, one of the practitioners, heard from a friend I was suffering and volunteered her therapy to me. And I didn't know her at the time at all. Um, and so when Kumari opened, I made it this haven for women that I wanted, and I didn't know who would come. They came, but I didn't know they'd come. And I really realized now it was also my call, my medicine for myself, um, was to be around open, big-hearted women that are super passionate and that are teaching me all the time. And I was so lonely before Kumari opened as a new mom and new country, new language, this pandemic, and really Kumari's healed me in such a way because I really was alone, so alone. So Kumari has just been this beautiful gift to myself. And I always tell people that it's a little bit selfish because in a good way, the word, because it is my medicine too. That I know when people walk in the door, they could become my really good friend, like you are, and like the other practitioners are. And that gets me so excited. But yeah, Kumari in itself, there's so much going on, but really it's an essence. I'm not like tied to one offering or another, and Women's Almanac is under that. It's really the essence of it. And Kumari is a very ancient word that we can find originated in the first indigenous people of Sicily, matriarchal people that came here about 6,000 years ago. Again, moving away from the patriarchal rule that started moving into Europe. And this word is even tied into India. It's so old, but it is used here all the time. You can hear it in Sicilian music. You can hear it even in jokes of Sicilian descent people, but it is used here as your best friend that then you might choose to be your maid of honor or the godparent of your child or this like very important figure in your world. So I've been to parties here where they'll be introduced as this is my kumari, which is the female version, or the kumpari, which is the male version. And people know that word a little bit more. So this is something that we do practice, usually give the other woman traditionally a basil plant when she becomes your kumari. So this word kumari is very, very ancient, but it's this thread of women, connectivity, friendship that is so beautiful. And so I'm honored to relive it in this form. I wasn't born here, but I do recognize that I am part of the web of life on this planet, and I am part of the planet. We are one and the same, me and this volcano I live on. And so I appreciate that I wasn't born here, but I am still a person of this earth and this space. And I'm really excited to be able to show women part of that, especially women of Sicilian descent. To bring them into this is just like my ultimate pleasure. So Kumari is a house, though. It also is a space here on the sea, and we just reopened.
How it started. Well,
And
it's not
bigger
because
house. Yeah, it started as a house. It started as a house I wish I had to stay in when I was an international correspondent, working all over the world and being in very masculine environments that just missed so many elements of comfort. So we've gone a little bit beyond just comfort, and you can see behind me this mural just finished by Manon Hermans from Belgium. Now I've invited female
Thanks.
artists to not just make it comfortable, but to make it inspiring and to tell their own stories. This is actually meant to be an image of her and her two best friends. And
So cool.
yeah, like a very interactive environment where you also can just be on holiday in Sicily, or you can bring your work and do your work because it's also a co-working space too.
Right, right. I think I saw you on Instagram and I thought, oh, a co-working, co-living space. Um, and I think you maybe had mentioned writers, come here and write. You know, the journey that I was on was very lonely. And I thought this would be a great way to meet other women, um, and just to be, in a communal space for a while, to try that out and see what that was like. And I came in January, so I think I was the only person there for the beginning. But then some other people came, and you also took me to meet. You have this wonderful Sicilian women's group. What is that called again?
Garelle,
Cinderella, which
which means women who are movers, travelers. Mhm.
yeah, so right. So it was like women who either had some connection to this place, but either were from somewhere else or lived part-time somewhere else. And I just meeting them was so inspiring as well. And because it just gave me so many ideas or just possibilities of women who aren't led into one place, that they find their home in various places, maybe, or they relocated there and now they find their home there. Some women were from the UK, I remember. And it was useful to me in the same way I think the Women's Almanac is, to see that there are other ways to live, right? There are other ways to be in the world. Um, and what you have created is an amazing way to be in the world. I wanted to talk more about your personal journey. This is the free portion of the podcast. And we're going to break now and then go on to part two, which is available for paid subscribers. And what I do with these conversations is that I invite our guests to take us on their personal journey, but we do put that behind a paywall because it is more personal, and it makes it, I think, gives us the opportunity to have a more intimate conversation. Okay, so thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing Kumari with us, the Women's Almanac, and I will put links in
Yeah.
those as well. And the Women's Almanac is there are 5 spots left, and
There's
it's
5 spots left. We will end the registration March 1st. And we also have on the 15th of February a free workshop with May to introduce her work to the community. And we will have another one by Samantha as well. So just to
okay.
check out the website for those free registration, free workshops to attend to.
Excellent, excellent. I'll put those
And
links.
Kumari's open. Come on.
And Kumari's open.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So there are lots of opportunities to visit Kumari, and there are themed weeks that you're doing, and you can meet so many amazing women from all over the world. It's
Or
incredible.
maybe see Anne here too. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
thank you.